You were supposed to remind me to take it off mute.
Well, you didn't ask me to.
You should be able to hear us now.
We had it on mute.
Yeah. So we're just sitting here blah, blah, blah with each other. It should be coming up in a minute, Dana. You were supposed to remind me to take it off. Yeah, you should have it in a second.
You still can't hear.
You still can't hear? You should be able to. Give it a second.
Because it's coming up on Steve's face.
Yeah, it's coming up on mine. So you should be able to hear.
That's better. Yeah, okay.
Okay, good.
All right. You had it on mute.
I had it on mute. That was the problem. But last week we had a little bit of an echo, but I figured out what the problem was with that. Hi, Joan. So, see, I think I've explained this to you guys before, but what we're looking at right now that you can't see is 3 different screens. Don't blame Walter. It was Walter's fault. It is always Walter's fault. I will stick to that, Dana. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm supposed to remind him to turn the mute off, but he didn't remind me to remind him to turn the mute off.
Oh, bite me. Anyways, yep, good. Because, you see, what we're looking at are we have 3 screens going here. We have the main one on the computer, which is an immediate time for us right now. Thanks, Andy. So everything we're doing, there's no time delay when we look into the computer. But then we look up into the camera and we see what YouTube is showing us. And YouTube is behind us by about 10 seconds or so. But that's looping through YouTube. Then we see what you see on my iPad as a monitor. And that is in the real time for you. So there are delays here for us, depending on which screen we look at. It's kind of confusing at this end. So anyways, just be thankful you only have to see us on one. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Angel. So it looks like we've got a lot of people coming in right now, so that's great. And as I said before when it was on mute, in the background, you might hear a little squeaking back and forth. That's my 3D printer. It's printing an aloe vera plant right now, a fake one. I got this idea that I want to put out on our patio. I cleaned up our patio today. And I thought, well, you know, maybe succulents would be nice out there because it's usually very warm out there, but there's no exposure to moisture because it's waterproofed. There is light at a certain time of the day. So then I got thinking, why get real succulents? I can probably 3D print succulents. So I'm not sure how they're going to look, but I'm thinking of printing them in wild colors anyways if they work out. So it's an experiment right now. And these little experiments take about 12 hours a piece. So it's a slow process. So anyways, Kathy says, what's the pattern for the shirts?
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up. Well, part of the problem with I can tell you what the pattern is. The part of the problem with telling you what it is that we modified the collar on the shirts from the original pattern. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Actually, it was supposed to be a Western with a Western style shirt with a more of a Western V in the collar, and we took that out.
Oh.
Because
I'm glad you did.
I didn't really like the Western style of the shirt, so the teacher gave us 2 options. We could do it as Western style or non-Western style, and I did the non-Western style. But it isn't an option in the pattern. He changed the neckline in the pattern for us. So, I mean, I can tell you what it is. It was called the Gosling, and I don't recall where we bought it from.
Yeah, Teresa says I gave up on keeping real plants alive. Makes it 3D for me. Yeah, it's an experiment. We'll see how it turns out. So what, are you still looking this pattern up?
Yeah, but I keep auto-correcting my name.
Oh, what? Spelling idiot?
You know, it's called So Deaf.
So who?
It's a Mimi G style, and it's called the Gosling, and it's distributed by So Deaf. SEWSEWDEF. You can look it up online. Just put in the the Gosling pattern, and you can find it places that have it. Different places sell it.
Well, Kathy says that she's got it now.
Yeah.
So thanks. Okay, so what shall we talk about next? Well, how about my mother? Let's see. What happened the last week? Did I get a hold of her? The week before, I didn't speak to her. No. It was this week. Last weekend was Mother's Day, right? Yeah, it was. Okay, last Sunday was Mother's Day. I had a call before we went on live last Sunday, and I told you about that, a FaceTime with my mom. Okay, that was fine. So I had my regularly scheduled Tuesday call. I always give her a FaceTime call on Tuesdays at 11 o'clock. And basically, they call me through FaceTime. And so I'm sitting there waiting, and they're usually right on time. Nothing happened at 11. Nothing happened at 11:05. Nothing happened at 11:10. 11:15. 11:20 came around. I thought, okay, there's something not right, but I'll just give it a few more minutes. Maybe they got delayed or something. So it was about 11:25 or so, and I thought, well, what the heck? I just pushed the return call on FaceTime. I didn't know if anybody would answer that or whatnot, because, I mean, really, that's not the way to do it. So I did, and it rang a few times, and I was just about to hang up, so I figured, okay, this is going nowhere. One of the staff answered. And it was a guy I'd never seen before working there. But then that's not possible since we haven't been able to go over there for over a year. And I said hi, and I told him who I was, and, that I was expecting a FaceTime call from my mother. And he says, oh, didn't they send you a text? And I said, no. Yeah, your mom's in bed. And I said, is she not feeling well? He said, no, she's fine. She was just tired. Yeah, I've heard that one before. When I hear that, I know it means she doesn't want to be bothered to take the call. Because basically they have to get her out of bed, put her in her wheelchair, she has to be dressed, and wheel her into another room where the connection is better. Now, they get her up for breakfast every day and everything like that, but some days my mother doesn't feel like doing that, and I guess they figure, what the heck, they'll serve her breakfast in bed, because my mother likes that, and, it's easier than fighting with her. So I said, oh, okay. He said, well, I'm really sorry that, you should have they were going to send you a text message. And I said, well, I have to admit, I was a little pissed off because, I plan these things and they're usually pretty good, but something fell through the hoop anyways. So I said, yeah, no problem. So I rescheduled for the next day on the Wednesday. And I got a hold of her then. And there was nothing new and exciting to talk to her about anyway, so it didn't really matter much. But she's fine. But we did hear the other day that now they have rescheduled her move into the new home. I guess the cases, you said what? The cases
They're all listed as being resolved right now.
Yeah, all the cases, because I think if you remember, I said she was supposed to move there about 3 weeks ago or so, and they had an outbreak in the new place of COVID. And now guess that's resolved. So they're planning to move them in the week of the 25th, which is next week. I think. Next week. So we'll see. I'm assuming they will let me know the exact date and the whole bit. And then I'll have to go through all the rigmarole of canceling her cable and her telephone again. Not looking forward to that because, you've heard me complain about it before. Our service provider for TV and television out here are just suck completely. Bell Canada, they just suck.
Well, they're semi-monopolies, so...
Yeah, they can't do too little for you, and they usually screw it up. So, hi, Anita. Anyways, my mom is fine, so that's good, I guess. Marlene says, I love the door wall hanging in the background. I tried to get it, but can't figure it out. You boys are so talented. Actually, Marlene, I wouldn't do another one. That one came from Dime. Digital...
Designs in
machine embroidery.
Yeah.
Do not like that company. I know I'm going to get hate mail for this one because lots of people absolutely love them. I don't think they know what they're doing. The instructions for that wall hanging were horribly written. If I had not done some of this kind of thing before, I would have been completely lost. And even as it was, I there were things in there that didn't come out right, and I had to readjust and do that for it. So I would not recommend them for their embroidery designs because I'm not impressed. We're also not impressed with their stupid magnetic hoop. Walter ordered one. It took months, literally months to get it.
It took me months to get it because it was, I think
Hi, Marilyn.
I ordered it like in September and I didn't get it until like January or something like that.
Thanks, Marilyn.
And I almost canceled it. It was cost me a lot of money. It was $300 Canadian almost.
Yeah.
For the hoop, and
then shipping.
And no, that included shipping. But it was I've only used it once so far, and you tried it the other day or whatever, and I didn't really like it.
Yeah, it's they claim that those magnets on the hoop, they say, don't get your fingers between them, they'll pinch them right off and all this kind of stuff. No, they won't.
The one time I used it, I haven't done any embroidery for a while, so but the one time I did use it was just for a regular embroidery piece, and it was a fairly large piece. And what I found was that the fabric shifted in the hoop while I was embroidering, and I wasn't too impressed with that. So,
well, the thing is, they advertise and sell them also to do in the hoop quilting. There is no way that magnetic hoop that you got would hold a quilt.
Yeah.
In there.
Well, I've seen online that some people use the hoop. They put double-sided sticky tape on the hoop to keep stuff from moving around.
And that's pointless.
That kind of defeats the purpose of having the magnets, right?
Yeah. I am not impressed with that company, and I'm sorry. There are probably some people that had excellent luck with them, but I have not, and so I will not. And it's expensive for us to get anything from them.
The design for the hoop is pretty lousy. The connection to the machine is plastic. The regular hoops that you get from Janome are plastic as well, but they seem to be built a bit more sturdy, and this one's a bit not.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if the attachment to the machine would break off fairly easily.
Yeah, it's not worth the money in our experience. I mean, maybe some of you have bought from them before and have had great luck, and that's great. And, if it works for you, like I don't say it's our opinion based on our experience. Always. It's always based on our experience, okay? If other people have had good luck and it works for them, fine. That's great. That's wonderful. But I will not endorse something when we talk about it if I have not had good luck with it. I know there are some YouTube channels out there who have affiliate links, which means that they get money back for basically pushing a product. I don't have any affiliate links, and no one sponsors us for anything. I'm talking more about my Idiot Quilter series, because there I do talk about products more on my vlog than we do so on here. But I don't get any kickback from any of these companies, so my opinions are based on my experience, and they're honest. I just tell you what happened to me. So, Donna says, I use Mighty Hoops and they work. Mighty Hoops, Donna, I've not heard of Mighty Hoops. Are they a company?
It says they're a strong magnetic hoop.
Mighty Hoops?
Yeah.
And where did they come from?
I don't know. I have to look into them.
Yeah.
Take a look, yeah.
And Donna, what kind of machine are you using them on?
The ones that these Mighty Hoops so far that I see are industrial machines.
Oh.
I don't know if they would make them for our machine or not. I'll have to take a look.
Yeah, Donna. So what machine do you have? Marlene says, your experience works for me. Thanks to you. No problem, Marlene. I mean, I just want people to...
I've only used the hoop once, so maybe I had bad luck that one time. I'll give it another try or whatever, but I think it would be handy for try and embroider on a towel or something like that, because it's hard to hoop a towel. But you can float the towel on the top of the hoop too.
Yeah, you can do that. But they actually have a whole video, several videos showing how they were using it on a machine to quilt with it. And that's where I got the thing that these magnets are so strong, and they even have the hoop come to you sandwiched on a piece of plastic to keep because they say if the two hoops touch each other when you're not using them in the machine, you'll never get them apart. I just went like this, boom, not a problem. So I did try it on a small sandwich, like a layer, like I would in a quilt, but just a small one. No way. There is no way they were going to hold that down. It might have eventually, but even on the sandwich, yeah, it sort of held it down. But I can't imagine doing a queen size quilt on there. The weight of a queen size quilt would just pull it apart.
Yeah, sounds like you're using a commercial machine, a multi-needle machine.
Okay.
We just have
you have domestic
sewing machines that do embroidery.
But you didn't see any listed for Janome.
Well, I did a quick look, and most of the hoops that I saw on there were the ones that are for the industrial that have the metal on both sides. I can see if you can get a commercial one, if you have a commercial machine and you get a really strong magnetic hoop, that it would work pretty good for doing piecing or whatever.
Yeah. Billy says, hi, everyone. Like your shirts. Nice. Love the color bolters. Oh, thanks, Billy.
Yeah, this is batik. Actually, it's the first short sleeve one that I ever did. I did it in a batik, and Steve's isn't a batik though. But
what is it?
It's just regular quilting cotton.
It's just quilting cotton. Okay. So, anyways, yeah. How do we get off on the topic on that? So that brings us up to what are you working on? Nothing.
Well, I've got a shirt on the go. I finished my jacket. But I mean, I've had the shirt on the go for I go like nuts doing a shirt, and then all of a sudden I stop. We're supposed to start a class tomorrow, and I was supposed to cut out fabric today, but then some of the people haven't gotten their fabric, so they decided to delay it again for another week. So we're not doing it for another week.
Yeah.
But that's okay because it's nice weather now, and I need to do some gardening this week. So.
Yeah, Teresa. She says she found quilting on my 15,000 took forever. All those hoop changes. I'm a pedal to metal free motion gal. Yeah, Teresa, that's what I found too. In fact, I could do it faster if I just did free motion or ruler foot or something like that. So, although it makes really nice stitches in the whole bit that look, just like a computerized long arm, it's all those re-hoopings and trying to get them lined up, and I just don't think it's worth it. Kathy says, does your machine sew buttons?
It does. It does. Has a really good automatic buttonholer, too, so that helps, too.
Your buttonholes are very snug. Maybe they loosen up with age,
actually,
probably.
What I should do is maybe make them a little bigger for those size buttons.
Maybe. Of course, they will loosen up with wear and washing and that kind of thing, so wouldn't worry about it.
I mean, there was one shirt that I made, and I got the buttonholes wrong because the button on the top is a smaller button, and I forgot to change the button holder or the rest of the. So I did that. I think actually it's this shirt that I did that on, and it has loosened up. So.
But anyways, you were talking about the other people in your class getting the fabric for their shirts. They're doing tropical, aren't they?
Yeah, they're doing it. The shirt pattern is called the Tropical. I think it's by Wardrobe by Me. And it looks like a nice shirt. It has more of a collar that folds over so that you don't have to, there's no top button to it. So I kind of like the pattern. And it looks fairly easy to do. But because it's called a tropical shirt, everybody wants to get tropical prints. Like, I'm not sure if I'm going to do a tropical print or not. I have a couple of different colors of fabric that are printed, but it's not a tropical print.
But that's not why they're delayed. They're delayed because...
Okay, because they were looking for all these tropical prints, and they seemed not to be able to be satisfied with any of the prints. So the instructor, unfortunately, said, well, why don't you look at Spoonflower? Because Spoonflower has all these different kinds of prints that you can get, right? But he forgot to tell them it's going to take a few weeks for you to order the fabric. So they went online and looked at all these prints, but they kept delaying ordering it. We knew we were going to do this shirt like over a month ago. And rather than getting in and buying the fabric right away, they kept looking and looking and looking and looking at Spoonflower until they finally found the perfect pattern and then ordered it like a week ago. And it takes at least 3 weeks for you to get your fabric from Spoonflower.
At least. However, the reason for that is because it's sort of a customized service. They don't have bolts of fabric already pre-printed sitting on their shelves. You see a pattern you like, and they actually digitally print it onto the fabric of your choice. And they have a lot of fabrics to pick from. They tell you, though, it's going to take about 3 to 4 weeks before you get it. In fact, after you put the order in, they give you a window of time, which usually runs about a week, 5 days to 7 days, of when you're going to get it. And you will get it in that window of time, at least I found with my own experience. But you've got to be patient with it because they actually have to print it. It's not like they're going to a bolt and cutting it. But some people still didn't get that, even though they were told.
Was the shipping really expensive?
What's that?
Teresa says that take a loan out for the shipping.
I didn't think it was that bad.
I doubt it's that expensive because the ladies in our class are pretty cheap.
Oh, yeah. I forget what I paid for the last order that I got. The fabric itself is kind of on the pricey side.
Yeah.
Depending on what you buy and what kind of material you have it printed in. But I can't remember what the shipping was. And, of course, they're shipping it to us here in Canada. So that always makes things a little bit more expensive.
And it takes longer.
Yeah. Marilyn says her last order took 6 weeks. Wow. Because I got 4 yards, because it's not in meters, it's in yards because it's American, of fabric that I had designed myself back a year and a half, 2 years ago or so, and I wanted some more of it. And I wasn't in any rush. I think that's the key. Don't be in a rush to get it from Spoonflower. But then again, you can get some very unique stuff. And if you want to design your own fabric, you can do that. And if you design your own fabric and you order that fabric, they give you, I think, a 15% discount on what they usually charge if you've designed it. So, but I mean, they're a good service. It's quality fabric that your pattern is printed on. So no complaints about that. Just don't be in a rush. It's one of those. Yeah,
one of the ladies ordered it a week ago, and she's another one. She orders everything at the last minute.
Yeah, Cherry says by the time they get the fabric, it will be snowing in Canada.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it could be. Well, no, that's not true. That is not true.
What?
Expect 4 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
Except Marilyn, she said it took 6 weeks.
Yeah.
For hers. But my experience has been, I plan on taking at least 4 weeks.
A couple of them had, last week I noticed that it had been shipped. So,
Of course, mind you, there's nothing saying that, they've shipped it. When it gets across the border and hits Canada Postal Service, then it could be a while. And that has nothing to do with Spoonflower. That has everything to do with our Postal Service.
Yeah.
Dana calls it park and storage or something in our Postal Service.
Yeah, especially lately with the way things are happening with COVID, it is like awful to get something through the mail. Like even that hoop I got was waiting for it for a long time, and then they got it in and they sent it, and it still took a week and a half to get to me. So,
okay, I'm not sure what. Well, hi Pam. I'm trying to decipher your message. Hi there. Just pop in down with hip glad. See you.
Glad to see you.
I think your spell checker is really off. Teresa, I got some fabrics, a lot, from the U.S., and shipping was $80 and had to pay $20 for customs at the door. Not Spoonflower. At least the fabric was clearance price.
Was that like fabric.com? I've ordered stuff from fabric.com, and the problem is they ship UPS. And UPS, it's a decent price when you pay for it, even if it's not on sale. But and I've ordered it from them because I've ordered it from them because it's something that I couldn't really get here, or it was maybe something that I really wanted. And it gets here fast enough. It goes by UPS, but then I have to always pay for a brokerage fee.
They double dip,
and it not it can be anywhere from, depending on how, it depends on how big of an order I have it. I've paid up to $17 for that, so I not only have to pay the exchange rate, I have to pay the brokerage fee, and then it ends up costing you a lot more than what I would have been if I ordered it in Canada.
Yeah, Billy says, are you still shut down? Yes, we're going to talk about that, actually. So we had some developments in that. Anita says, Keith is mowing their yard now. Well, you should be out there helping him, Anita. Dana, yeah, Canada postage and storage. That, yeah, I couldn't remember exactly how you put that before, Dana, but you're right. That's exactly what it is. Marilyn says that was like 6 months ago, so maybe they improved. Well, you know, it's hard to say whether or not it's the company's fault or if it's, you know, the delivery service fault and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush for anything. But anyways,
I mean, I've ordered stuff from fabric.com and it's come here in Canada less than a week.
Yeah,
it's on UPS, so UPS.
I hate UPS because you never know with UPS if you're going to get nailed for customs or whatever.
If I order anything from the US, I try and avoid UPS. It's fast, but you end up paying a whole lot more.
Yeah,
especially if it's coming from the US. If it's across Canada, you're not paying anymore. But if it's coming from the US, we are.
Well, they double dip, it seems, into the customs thing. Because they charge you a brokerage fee, and then they charge you customs on top of that and everything like that, and they charge you a fee for collecting the customs.
And then if we order a USPS, a United States Postal Service, it's a little slower, but 9 times out of 10, I never have to pay a brokerage fee. Or anything like that. So it's kind of worth the wait.
Yeah, this duty thing anyways is completely confusing. I mean, we're supposed to have this big trade deal across our countries and the whole bit, but I don't know what that covers and what it doesn't cover. It seems like a whole bunch of bullshit, actually.
Yeah, well, originally, when the original free trade agreement, you're not supposed to have to pay duty on items that are made in the U.S. And I did order a few items that were made in the U.S. and then ended up having to pay duty on it. And I don't quite understand that.
You can't figure it out. And no one seems to have an answer to it either. But anyway, so that's all. So your coat's just about done. You just had the buttons.
Yeah, I said it was done. I still have to put the buttons down the front. I've got the other buttons all on. I've been sort of delaying it because I've been procrastinating doing it because it's a bit of a task to do it. Plus, I'm afraid that I'm going to screw it up. And because once you put a hole in there, you kind of have to use it, right?
When in doubt, patch. It becomes an embellishment.
So I don't want to do it on a day where I think I'm going to screw up.
I agree with you, Patsy. She says U.S. Postal Service is about like Pony Express days. I'm getting tired of the COVID excuse. Yeah, the COVID excuse seems to be our Postal Service uses that as an excuse all the time, too. Well, I got news for the Postal Service. It was the same service. The service was the same before COVID as it is now, so it has nothing to do with COVID. They're just using that.
Yeah, what I don't understand about our Canada Post, and I don't understand about the United States Postal Service, is that you order something from one town, and it bounces all over the United States before it gets to you. Like I order something from Buffalo, New York, which is right across from Canada, right? But it ends up going to New York City or New Jersey or something,
or into the Midwest,
and then goes back through Montreal and comes to us. We're like 2 hours away from Buffalo.
Like
I could drive there faster.
Yeah. Brexit has really messed delivery here in the UK from anywhere from outside the UK. Yeah, well, that I can understand. And Joan says, my local USPS has to be in the mood to make deliveries these days. Yeah, whatever happened to the days when the motto was, nor rain, nor sleet, nor snow will keep this delivery from getting to you, or something, whatever they used to say. I think that used to be an American Postal Service slogan. But yeah, no, not so much with that. So anyway, so that's all. You haven't been working on anything else?
Not really. No.
Well, you've been getting dirt for your plants, and
Yeah, well, yesterday I put down wood chips in the front lawn and stuff like that.
Oh, did you?
I've been poking out all the dandelions.
oh,
Um,
you cleaned up the pots up on the deck, getting ready to
Yeah.
plant our garden this year.
yeah, and I was supposed to go in the backyard today, but I didn't.
Hmm. Oh, if you saw our backyard, you just about the neighbors on one side
Our front yard looks beautiful. Our backyard
is a disaster. I mean, it always has been.
It's all weeds. Right
We've
now.
lived here for 26 years, and we have never done anything in the backyard. We don't use the backyard. We don't. The only thing that uses the backyard are the bunnies, the squirrels, the chipmunks.
Well, we have a deck out in the backyard. We do use our deck and stuff.
Well, we
like
don't
that.
have a deck in the backyard. We have a deck that comes off of our kitchen at the top, which is above our backyard, and we have underneath it an enclosed patio area. But you just made it sound like we have a whole deck that goes out in the backyard.
No, but we do have a big deck.
But our... Well, speak for yourself. Okay, fine. Got pictures? You said deck, right?
I said deck.
Deck, okay. Anyway, still a joke there. But our backyard always looks like a disaster. But our neighbors next door to one side of us have a really beautiful backyard. I mean, they have all kinds of plants.
I told you we can get that too. We'll just hire a gardener to come in and do
Yeah,
that.
that's right. I don't care what the backyard looks like. As far
Well,
as
then don't complain.
did I say I was complaining about it? I was not complaining about it. I said the neighbors next door probably complain about it when they
I do like to get nice grass though in there because right now it looks crappy. Last year I didn't water the grass.
But we have all those pretty purple
so all
and
our
white
grass
and yellow.
died.
We have all those pretty flowers.
Yeah, all our grass
They're
died,
weeds, but we have all these pretty flowers.
and all the weeds are taken over. So
Well, anyways, so I have a feeling that every time they probably, if people come over to their place in the days when they could, they probably stand out on their deck, look over into our backyard, and theirs looks even better. Now, of course, the ones on our other side, they have a great big huge hole in the middle where they used to have an above ground pool, and they took it down last year, and so it's all like dead and a few rocks on it. Actually, the neighbor next door to the one side of us, not the ones with the nice backyard, but the other one, he was hacking away early in the morning at the fence that is between our two properties. And he had taken off, like we have a privacy lattice thing that runs along the top of the fence, and he had taken this one section down, and he was hacking away at the rest of the fence. And I thought he might have been taking some of the boards off on his side. You know how they do the boards that are sort of staggered?
Mm.
And I thought maybe, and I thought, well, geez, what the heck's he doing here? Because, you know, that fence is an old fence. I mean, it's still standing. It's held its time. It's over 20 years old when we had it put in.
but that section was crooked. So
Yeah, well, yeah, they heave a little bit. But it was not that crooked.
yes, it was. He showed me the pole was busted off. At the
Okay,
bottom.
jump ahead.
Okay.
Anyways, he was taking off a pole that had broken off on his side, and he was replacing it, which was fine. But I didn't know, like, what he had in mind out there. So Walter went over and kind of asked him, and he said, oh, yeah, this was broken off, so he's putting it in. We offered to, you know, if there was any cost involved, to share the cost with them, and Walter even volunteered to help him out. But he said, no, he had this pole there laying around, and actually did a good job.
Yeah.
He fixed it up real nice. So these are people we never really talk to. They're
one of our
newer neighbors.
Newer neighbors, yeah. We had a couple that lived there for almost 20 years. And then these new neighbors have been there since, I think, about 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah,
Of course,
we don't really
talk.
talk to them that much.
We don't talk to any of the neighbors. That's Walter's fault.
No.
The day we moved into this subdivision, I tried to be friendly with neighbors and said, well, we should, you know, have people over, do something like this. I don't want those people over because you don't know what they're like in the whole bit. Dutch are like that. They're not friendly people, the Dutch. And I said, fine. So 26 years later, the only people we talk to, and we've never darkened the doors of their house, and they've never darkened the doors of our house, are the ones that have the nice lawn. And the ones on the other side are, I don't know, how many years have they lived there now? 3, 4? Maybe it's been 5.
Yeah, I said 2016.
Was it 2016?
Yeah, oh, they were living there when my cousin came to visit, and that was 2016.
Jeez, where's the time gone?
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, we're friendly, as in hi, and that's it. Don't cross the property line, kind of a thing. But that's because, Dutch background.
Just go ahead and make me. I forget who he is. What's his name?
That's Johan.
Johan, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Johan.
Hi, Johan. Let's see. Just backing up here. We're missing some of the comments. Let me get my cursor over here.
Well, at least I don't have to compete with their yard because their yard's as crappy as our yard.
Yeah, that's true. Marilyn says, I had a FedEx shipment in the U.S. and the seller in the U.S. and ended up going to Guam. Okay, that's pretty bad. Andy says, U.S. Postmaster General has had high-speed sorting machines removed, told postal workers they couldn't work late to ensure all deliveries were made. Biden administration tried to get rid of him. Did it work? Angel says, I collect fountain pens, and the longest it ever took was 3 months for a pen to go from California to Pennsylvania. Oh, geez.
Well, didn't they lose your glue sticks?
Oh, yeah. That wasn't the Postal Service. That was Amazon. I ordered a big box of glue sticks, washable glue sticks, because I use them with a 3D printer. Don't ask why. And waiting for them. As of May the 4th, they said they were in Whitby. Whitby is the town right next door to us. Usually when you see that it's hit Whitby, you know you're going to get it the next day. Well, they had a little notice up saying, your order, we're so sorry, your order has been delayed. And that's it. Well, fine. And then they gave me a new date. That date passed. They gave me another new date. They said, if your product doesn't show up by such and such a date, I think it was May the 12th or something, you can apply for a refund. So May the 12th came. I never got my glue sticks. May the 13th, I went on to my account on Amazon and I clicked on the refund button. It wouldn't let me go any further than that because it said, please, sorry for the delay. Please give it 3 more days. So I waited 3 more days. So on the 6th, no, I'm getting my dates mixed up. Anyways, I waited. And I clicked on that again. It was still saying that. And meanwhile, it still says it was in Whitby. So I clicked on their chat button. And I was surprised. This was 7:30 in the morning on Friday. And I got somebody. He had a name that I used every letter in the alphabet, and I probably couldn't pronounce, but I prefer chat anyways because I don't have to fight through an accent when I use chat. And his English was pretty good as far as his grammatical construction, so it was easy to understand. So I told him, and he said, okay, so sorry about that. He says, just let me check here. He came right back on. He says, yeah, it's been lost. Wow, tell me something I don't know. It's in Whitby, according to your records. But anyways, I said, okay, fine. He says, I can refund your money on it, or do you want to reorder it? I said, well, can you tell me how long it's going to take to get if I reorder it? Because technically it's already paid for because it was already on my Visa card and I already paid that off and everything. And he said, well, no. He says, actually, I can't tell you that until the order goes through. Good system. I said, well, okay. Yeah, I'll reorder it. So I have new dates now. It's supposed to come next week. We'll see whether this happens or not.
Yeah, that's the first time they've lost something, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never had that problem before with Amazon. So yeah, Amazon's pretty reliable unless you get a third-party seller. And there's a few little tricky things in there.
Actually, I had something I bought the other week that was an Amazon, what did they call it? What do they call the ones?
Prime?
It was Prime, but it was they're good, not good value. They're
Amazon Basics.
It was an Amazon Basics. Yeah, it was just okay. When I buy these PDF patterns for clothes, I have to print them all out and stick them all together, right, with tape, right? And so I go through a lot of Scotch tape when I do that. So I bought a tape dispenser and a bunch of tape through the Amazon Basics, like a tape dispenser and 17 or 18 rolls of tape came with it, right? So it was an Amazon Basics, but it got shipped from BC, Vancouver, BC, and it was a third-party seller.
Yeah, you gotta
Right?
watch sometimes with the third-party sellers.
It took about a week and a half, 2 weeks to get it.
Yeah, sometimes, you know.
Okay, go ahead and make these Dutch. Okay, that explains things. I thought your accent.
We said that the other day when we were watching your Johan, when we were watching your YouTube there. I said, Johan's from Australia, but he's got a bit of an accent. And I said, I wonder if he's from Indonesia. Because
Well, I sort of said that it sort of sounds like a Dutch accent, but not quite.
And the Dutch, didn't they, like, at one time wasn't Indonesia Dutchy controlled and whatnot? But I like the comment. Did you see the comment above that?
I'm Dutch background, so.
Yeah. Teresa says Dutch are friendly as long as you're Dutch. They're not even that friendly to each other, I've found. But, I mean, I don't know. Dutch or Dutch. Yeah. Hi, Ann. Amazon doesn't have that nice 2-day delivery
anymore. Not much.
Yeah, I was wondering about. Yeah, right. I was wondering about that, Angel, because I have Prime. I pay for it every month, and the 1 to 2 day delivery. And lately, haven't been seeing that. So all you're getting from the Prime is free delivery, which isn't really free, or is that in the price? I don't know. Anita says, my son sent us moving boxes of packing tape through Amazon this week. Oh, that's interesting. Never thought of that. He says, Johan says, I'm a clogwog, Dutch immigrant in Australia. Oh, clogwog.
I've never heard that term.
Australians have...
Actually, when my parents immigrated to Canada, they had a choice either to go to Australia or to Canada. And they thought Australia was too far away, so they ended up in Canada.
And that could have changed everything.
Yeah, I know. I think I would have rather have gone to Australia. What?
Well, then you wouldn't have met me.
Well, it doesn't matter. I would have met somebody else.
I'll buy you a ticket now. Go to Australia. No, I won't. Don't wish that upon Australian people. I like Australia too much. Yeah, clogwog.
I don't think they have a name for Dutch people in Canada.
Yeah, they do. Stupid. Anyways, so you haven't been working on anything else. So fine. Working on the garden stuff and whatnot. Teresa says there are getting to be more things that don't qualify for Prime. Yeah, I know. Gotta keep an eye on that because it might not be worth having Prime if they start doing that kind of thing. Anyways, I have worked on a couple of things, so I'm going to switch screens on you right now and hope this works. The first one, you've seen it in parts and pieces. And just let me get things up here. This is my pot puree quilt. And that should be coming up here in a moment. There's a bit of a delay on all of this stuff. This is the quilt that should come up here. I'm just waiting to see when you guys... there we go. Okay. This is the quilt that is all embroidered and applique, all done in the hoop. And each one of those little blocks took me about 45 to 55 minutes a piece to do. And if you saw the Idiot Quilter this past week, I explained why one of these blocks, which is the block that's right here, if you can see my cursor going around, that block I don't
know if I saw that cursor.
No, because it's a delay.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Like, geez.
Oh, okay.
You don't understand the principle here behind this, do you? I mixed up my stabilizers. The stabilizer on the back of all of these is something called no-show mesh, which is usually used in clothing and things like that when you want something soft if it's going against the skin and it stays in the fabric. But I used water-soluble. And so when I hit it with the steam iron after I finished it, it all shrunk up into a little ball. So that didn't work out very well. The other quilt, I just got the top done yesterday. Oops. Switch over to it. And that's right here. This one was a bitch. I don't know if it was me or it was the instructions. Well, I think it was a bit of a combination of both. But this one's called Strong and Free. And my measurements did not come out with the blocks the same size as the person who had printed or who had designed this pattern. So I had to do some of my own adjustments. I got it all to work. But that giant maple leaf off to the one side, that's one great big piece. That's not pieced. That's one great big piece that had to be appliqued. And I have done a little applique before, but not a lot. And I was wondering how this is going to turn out because that's a big piece to get under your sewing machine and to go all the way around it. But I managed to do it, and my stitches are pretty good in it. So I also took some liberty. He didn't have borders on the original design. I put some borders on it, which are the same color as the background fabric. So that's why you can't really see them. But now I need to back it and layer it and quilt it. So I went looking for this, see if I had enough of this fabric to put on the back, and I didn't. And I was having a little hard time yesterday trying to find it. But I ended up ordering something that I think is close from my local quilt store from Ultimate Sewing, but I won't get it till Tuesday. It's a curbside pickup. But anyways, that's what I've been working on. So, oops, didn't want to do that. Wanted to do this and switch us back. And there we are. So, anyways, let's see what are people saying.
Love that.
Yeah. I was just catching up everybody. Yeah, it's a nice quilt. I want to have it all done by Canada Day. I'd like to be able to hang it out in the breeze on the garage door on Canada Day, and then someone will come along and steal it. Or it'll rain. But anyways, so those are the two things I've been working on. Plus, I've been 3D printing as usual. So part of my landmark series, I've been printing things from places we've been to. So this is my latest one. It's the Johan. You recognize this one. This is the Sydney Opera House, 3D printed. And I'm going to start on another series soon, well, after I get my succulents made. I think it's turned out pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good.
I'm going to do... Johan put me onto a site for 3D printing that has our museum pieces. They're statues and things like that you see in a museum. And they've 3D scanned them and made them so that you can 3D print them. And they're free. So I've got a bunch that I want to do, and so that's going to be my next little project. I built some new shelves to put more of my 3D toys on. Yeah, I'm starting to fill up the place with 3D prints. Quilts and 3D prints. What more do you want? It used to be scrapbooks and mixed media pieces on canvas. Well, they're still here too. Things fill up.
John says a bird will poop on it.
Bird will poop on it.
That's likely.
Yeah, probably. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it'll see the light of day, but it's a thought. We call the Opera House the dish rack. That's funny. When we were in Australia, we never heard anybody call it that.
Yeah.
Of course, we probably weren't around enough people that the natives that would call that, because everybody that's down at the Opera House are all tourists, right? We did take a tour when we were in Australia, though, of the interior and everything like that. And we were there, our most memorable New Year's Eve. And we have it actually on the channel. You can see it from our trips on there.
We spent New Year's Eve in the Opera House.
Yep. It cost us a small fortune, but we had dinner in the Opera House, and then we had a concert with the I guess, is it called the Australian Symphony Orchestra, or the or the Sydney.
It was
whatever.
the opera
And
company.
the opera company too,
Yeah.
but the symphony was there too.
Yeah.
And that was a great show. And then we had the after show party and saw the fireworks from a lovely vantage point in the opera house with free drinks. Well, not really all free.
I mean, they were included.
Yeah.
The drinks were all included.
That was one of our best. Actually, that was probably our best New Year's Eve ever. And it only cost us the small fee of $2,200 for the evening. Well, that's for two of us, $1,100 a piece. But you know something? It was worth every cent. Every cent, I'll tell you that. Yes, Teresa, a goose will steal it. Yeah, we've got lots of those. So
Yeah, they don't fly south anymore.
no. So that's what I've been working on. So. We were asked earlier about how the lockdown is going here. Well, they've extended it until June the 2nd, and they're threatening to extend it beyond that. I don't think our government's got the guts to extend it past that.
Yeah, it's our numbers were down today to 2,100, but still,
wow.
It's still pretty high.
Yeah, well, it's better than 4,000 and something. But I mean, I think I need a haircut really bad. I mean, I wish they'd open up so I get my haircut. But, you know, for the sake of safety, I'll go hippie.
Yeah, I could use the haircut.
So would Walter, yeah.
I was supposed to get it on May the 4th, but actually, it's still not very long.
But anyways, you know, they're still going on about getting kids back into school in June.
And I don't know why, because they are out of school at the end of June.
Yeah. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. The kids are doing their stuff online and all of that. And really, what's the big push here? And they're trying to pretend that it's safe in the schools. It's not safe in the schools. This government of ours in Ontario just sucks big time. And I'm pissed off with our federal government too. I mean, I like Justin Trudeau, and out of all the leaders at the federal level, I would still vote for Justin Trudeau again.
It's probably still the best pick out of all the leaders,
but he's dropped the ball.
Yeah.
He's really dropped the ball on this situation lately. And all they're doing is fighting. Between the provincial premiers and the federal government, all they're doing is, well, the federal government should be doing this. No, the provincial government can do this. Well, the federal government hasn't given us this. Well, no, the provincial government has. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
And not only that, they've just decided to stop giving the AstraZeneca vaccine. And both of us have the first dose of AstraZeneca. So we don't know what we're going to get for our second dose. So
yeah. So, you know, now that we've had the AstraZeneca, so we were guinea pigs with all this. So I don't know. Angel says they just said all fully vaccinated people can go maskless here.
Yeah, so that means all the people that don't want to wear masks are going to be maskless as well.
Yeah,
that whether they're vaccinated or not, unless you have some sort of thing that, like a sticker you can wear on your forehead that shows the
big stamp
that you're vaccinated.
I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that. Yes, it would be nice to be able to go maskless again, but I think it's still too soon. I mean,
well, it'll be a good experiment to see what happens.
Well, we kind of know what's going to happen.
No, not necessarily. I mean, you can still get sick.
Yeah.
With if you've got the vaccine, it's just supposedly you may not be hospitalized. But then there's this big thing about the India variant right now. They don't know if the vaccines are effective against that.
Yeah, well, excuse me. Anita says June 2nd, at least here in Ohio, we are back to normal here in the States. It's basically the wild, wild west out there. So does that mean, Anita, that people can go into restaurants like we used to, in patios, and go into stores, you know, no curbside, all that kind of stuff? Is that what it means? They're going to, like, right back to what life used to be like? I still think we're a ways from that for quite a while. I don't know. I mean, in Canada, we see the stats. There's only been, what?
Well, in Canada,
2-3% of the population has had that are fully vaccinated.
Yeah, well, they've been delaying our second vaccine shot. So and they've been trying to get as many first shots in as possible. But it's supposed to be 4 to 12 weeks for the second shot of AstraZeneca, according to the UK, and they're pushing us to 16 weeks.
Yeah.
But we still don't know what we're getting as a second shot because they've suspended using AstraZeneca in Ontario where we are. So
Yeah. Angel says Walmart is allowing no masks. Yeah, well, of course Walmart would. I mean, really, there's the standard in health.
I don't know. I'm still going to be cautious, even if our if there's going to be relaxations. I'm still going to be cautious about it for a while until I see what happens. So I don't want to be the guinea pig.
No, we're already the guinea pigs. So Billy says we have a card to show that we're vaccinated. Yes, all stores are open, but still practice social distancing. Oh, so they've issued you a card, have they? They haven't done that with us yet, but they've been talking about this vaccination passport kind of a thing. And that seems to have gotten people up in arms over that. Personally, that doesn't bother me.
Well,
I'd be happy to have a card.
I think I said this last week. When I was a kid, and we used to well, I didn't go very often, but we'd go back to Holland. We had vaccination passports in those days. Yeah. We had to be vaccinated for tuberculosis and things like that. So,
yeah, Anita says it's up to the business owners to decide. You can still wear your mask, but not required. I will still wear masks and social distance. Yeah,
I can see that. I mean, a business can't very well turn around and say you can't wear a mask. So,
no, they can't say they can't wear a mask. Yeah. But if business wants business, I think they're going to look the other way. Yeah. But Patsy says we're pretty close to normal in Mississippi. However, I still wore a mask at the grocery yesterday. It's very questionable, Patsy, whether or not Mississippi has ever been normal. That's a joke. Sorry, Patsy, but I couldn't resist. Yeah, okay. I'm just joking. Angel says, I just got my second shot last Tuesday. I'm not ready to go maskless anyway.
Well, not only that, it takes, they say 3 to 4 weeks after you get a shot.
Yeah, for it to fully kick in. But, people, you're talking about going maskless. Come to Ontario. We have a law in our books that say if women want to go topless in Ontario, they may do so.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't think a lot of people in the world knew that in Ontario it is legal.
And you can walk around on the streets.
Walk around the streets without any top on.
I mean, I don't really. It's very rare.
You don't really, except during Pride Parade. Then you'll see.
Yeah.
Some of the more ugly dykes will bear all. But
that came out quite a few years ago now. Like men are allowed to not wear a shirt, right? If it's warm, obviously if it's warm out. But they took it to a woman was apprehended that went topless, and she took it to court, and she won.
Yeah, and they basically found it was discrimination. Quite frankly, I don't think men should be out in public without a shirt on either, unless it's their own backyard or at the beach.
I think you don't see as many men wearing
shirts
as going without a shirt as you
used to. And of course, you've always got that rule: no shirt, no shoes, no service. So I guess they could add one on there. Honey, we'd love to see your boobs, but not in our store. That'd be good. Let's see. Donna says, Jones says, PBS last night had a story on your lockdown, how it's affecting business in Windsor relying on U.S. orders and being able to freely cross the border. The business owner in Windsor was not happy. Okay, I'm just deciphering.
Well, I'm not sure what you're referring to. We are still we're locked down in our own province, but we also aren't allowing people to cross the border that are non-essential travel.
Well, I think that's what the PBS thing was about. How not being able to. It's affecting business in Windsor, relying on U.S. orders and being able to freely cross the border. So I think what she's saying is that because our border isn't open, it's affecting business.
Yeah.
And how it's
I
affecting
mean,
it.
trucks and that still can come across because they're deemed as essential travel. So
Yeah. In Illinois, so far, every store, Maryland says, still requires a mask as of today. Well, you see, our stores aren't even open, only for curbside service.
yeah, like I mean, I went at garden centers are allowed to be open because they're outdoors. But the store I went to is an automotive store, which is truly Canadian. It's Canadian Tire. Uh, and the store itself is closed. The only way you can get anything from the store, the main store, is to go get a curbside pickup. But if I can go to the garden center and get something.
Yeah.
The all our dollar stores right now are up in arms because they're only allowed to sell grocery items in the dollar store. You can't buy anything in the dollar store
It's blocked off.
that is not a grocery item. So
Yeah. Anita says the CDC reported there has been 5,800 breakthrough COVID on vaccinated.
yeah, a breakthrough COVID is considered if you're fully vaccinated and you get COVID, that's called a breakthrough.
Oh, okay. 60% of the cases have been women over 60. Interesting.
There's been over, I think, 5,000 cases in, I'm not sure if it's in Canada or if it's in Ontario. I think it's in Canada of not breakthrough, but there 5,000 cases of ones after you've had your first vaccine. And I think there's been like about 600 or 700 that are what they consider breakthrough cases.
Yeah. Okay. And Angel says 2 weeks after for Moderna to be considered fully vaccinated. Yeah. You see, fully vaccinated doesn't mean that you can't get it. It just means you won't get it, hopefully, as severe, like to be put in the hospital or something like that. It's like the flu shot. You can have the flu shot, but you can still get the flu, but it's supposed to be a mild.
Yeah, I mean, actually, if you really look at why these lockdowns occur, is you're being locked down because they're afraid the hospitals will be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah, and in Ontario,
they don't care about you. They care about is the hospitals are getting overwhelmed.
Well, of course, in our province, like the way that our government's handled the healthcare system.
I mean, our hospitals tend to be overwhelmed on a good day.
Yeah, let alone on that. So yeah, sure, we have universal health care in Canada, but we still have problems. Lots of problems with them. Anita says, yes, we are all in a huge experiment now. See how much protection the vaccines are giving us. And Johan says, I'm more offended by people's bare feet.
Yeah, well, I don't like it when people are walking around barefoot places, so.
Well, if the guy's hot, take it off. But, actually, it's the hot guys never take it off. It's always the
big, fat, ugly guy.
Yeah, the guys that, need a bro. To hold things up. Of course.
Well, how come you're not?
Shut up. Tweak your nipple. Like, jeez. I'm old. What do you want? You should look at my age this good. Because you don't. It says, Joan says, yes, that's what I mean. It was showing trucks crossing, but nothing else. Yeah. That second shot, Angel said, is hell on wheels. It sure as hell don't want COVID. That second shot was hell on wheels.
The second shot of a vaccine.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just trying to understand why it was hell on wheels. Are you talking about I've heard that the second shot, people seem to have more reaction to the second shot than the first?
That's how I take it.
Okay. I'm just trying to decipher here. Well, if you're so smart, you do the commentary.
Do I need to read between the lines for you?
I'm surprised because you really can't read. Our pubs and other shops are open, but further easing in the UK may be halted due to the Indian variant. Yeah. And Wendy says, I'm late, but hello. Hi, Wendy. Teresa, I used to work in an ICU trauma unit. That was always full. I can't imagine working there during this. Yeah, I know. They always are. The hospitals are always overloaded in their ICUs and everything else. So, our government just hasn't. If they're going to cut funds, they cut funds from.
Do you want another beer?
Yeah, okay. Cut funds from. Jeez. Get your big fat butt out. They have to. What was I saying? They always cut funding from the hospitals and from education all the time. Worst places you could cut money. Angel was in bed for 3 days after the second shot. Wow. Did I don't know, Angel? You may have said this earlier. Did you get the Moderna or one of the other ones with that? But I have heard that I've heard a lot of people actually say that the reaction to the second shot was a little worse. But then I suppose you recover from that. That's better than having to end up in the hospital and something worse, right? So I guess we can put up with that. Yeah. So, anyways, that's the situation they've got us in now. I just hope they don't. I think June the 2nd is still too early. They're looking for a magic number, and I don't know what that magic number is.
Under 1,000.
And what's going to happen anyways if they open up too soon and we go into the fourth wave? I mean, I was talking the other day. I was on a Zoom meeting with my quilting group, and I asked people if they were finding that they were forgetting things. If their short-term memory was... Like, for example, okay, make this clear what I'm talking about. So, I've been having this thing where I don't remember what I was doing. I have to really think about it. Now, yeah, your short-term memory kind of starts to get affected when you get a little older. But, I mean, I'm not ancient. Yeah, I'm over 60. But, I mean, my memory's pretty good on most things. But, for example, the other day, I was brushing my teeth and then I flossed. And then I flossed again. And then halfway through the second flossing, I go, wait, didn't I just do this? Now, part of the problem there is it's so routine. I go into automatic mode, right? But I said to, Walter's running around. I said, what are you looking for? And he says, I don't know. I came down here for something. And I said, yeah,
I've been doing that since I was 30.
Yeah, but it seems different. So I wondered, there's something called, I read it in the hospital once when my mother was in the hospital before she went in the nursing home, called institutionalized dementia, where I guess because there's a lack of stimulation, it gives you some of the symptoms of like forgetfulness, sort of early signs of Alzheimer's, that kind of stuff, and dementia. And so I was wondering if, because, we're not getting out and doing what we used to do as much, that basically we're in the same four walls, 7 to 24, and with the same old people, 724, kind of a deal. Like, there's no stimulus. Yeah. Maybe the same. So I was mentioning this on this Zoom thing I was on, and I guess there's a term for it. They call it the COVID fog. So I guess it's not unusual.
Teresa calls it CRS syndrome. What's that?
What's
CRS stand for?
Yeah. What's that stand for, Teresa?
COVID retard syndrome. I know you're not supposed to use that word.
Don't use that word. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm wondering if other people are finding this the same or not, because it's kind of scary.
Anne said she was in bed 3 days with the first AstraZeneca vaccine and then okay for the second.
Oh.
Actually, I was affected by the first one.
We both
pretty much probably 36 hours, I think. It was, no, not 36, I guess 24 hours, I guess. It was after I had the shot. I was okay until that night, and I had the shakes. I felt cold. I couldn't get warm all night, and the next day I felt tired, probably because I couldn't get any sleep. And but then I perked up again halfway through the day. So
CRS, can't remember shit. That's very true. With it, well, I had a little bit of an effect. I had my arm was a little sore from at the injection site, and I felt a little tired out. But lately I'm beginning to think that that's very common anyways in my life, because I said earlier today, I've been feeling tired the last few days.
Probably because it got warm.
Maybe. Change of season. Bye, Teresa. Yeah, I don't know, but okay. I'm hoping it's just just the lack of stimulation to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And things become pretty much routine. I mean, I don't know if anybody else, but you find yourself doing the same thing day in and day out. You get up in the morning, you do this, you that, and you don't really have a whole heck of a lot to look forward to. Thank goodness I quilt. But even some days I don't feel like doing that. Some days I just feel like laying on the couch and watching my stories.
Yeah. Andy said that she was fatigued. Did you get the second shot yet, Andy? Because I've heard a lot of people say from Pfizer that they feel worse on the second shot.
Well, that could be. I don't know. But anyway, so let's change the topic, shall we? Someone recommended, I don't know who, if it was on here or just on comments from some of our other videos.
I think it was Johan did, yeah. Okay, go ahead. I'm preoccupied. Great.
Johan didn't talk about that. I don't think he did. He talked about the 3D print things.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh. Forget?
No, go ahead.
Whatever.
Talk, yeah.
The Great British Sewing
Yeah, that
Bee.
was Johan.
Was that Johan?
Yeah, I'm sure that was.
Johan, tell me, did you recommend the Great British Sewing Bee? Walter says you did.
Well, he watched it because he made that hat, and the hat was in...
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I was going to make that hat. I haven't made it yet. Well.
Yeah, sure. You'll lose it anyways. You lose all your hats. So anyways, I finally was able to get all 7 seasons of it, download it. Don't ask me how.
Actually, we talked about it in our class last week.
Oh yeah.
And somebody said, I said, well, we can't find it anywhere. And somebody sent me the link, and
that's how we got it. So we've been watching that, and although for me it's about garment sewing, I find it really quite interesting. It's very enjoyable. We've blitzed our way through season 1 and season 2. We're starting season 3. And I was in bed feeling totally exhausted for 3 days after my first AZ shot, freezing cold, then hot flashes. Well, geez, Dana, that was something else. I can still lie on the couch and fall asleep almost instantly.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I can do that too, but I don't think that's from the shot.
Yeah, Johan did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Recommended the Great British Sewing.
Well, it's pretty good. I really like it. So.
Yeah, it is. It's really. I like it. It's really entertaining. It's the only thing I don't like about it is I think they should have a better prize at the end of it.
Yeah, really. The prize that they get is really crappy. They give them this stupid little gold-colored dress dummy with a little banner over it. And I'm thinking all the hell they've gone through. It could have been a cash prize, couldn't it? But then I find that with British television shows anyways that are contests, really the prizes aren't that great. I guess we're so used to the American style of game shows where, it's thousands of dollars and a car all the time. Marlene says, I had both Pfizer shots. No reaction from either. I'm 83. Sorry, spelling. Oh, on Pfizer. I didn't even notice it. I'm not sure how you spell it either. So, yeah.
Close enough. We can read it.
Yeah, we figured it out. Okay. I there's so much here I could make fun of, but I can't. Don't want.
And I don't think Dana had both jabs because in Canada they only give you.
Yeah, they only give us.
They give you the first one, and then you have to beg for the second one.
Yeah. Oh, he says it's on BBC, so they can't give away big prizes.
Oh,
I guess. Yeah, I guess that would be like CBC, because I don't even know if CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Company, I don't know if they ever gave big prizes either on times when they had game shows. I don't even know if they have any game shows on CBC anymore. Does anybody watch CBC anymore? I don't know. Yeah, it is fun to watch it. But I was really pissed off when we saw the end of the second season because this bitch won it, and she didn't deserve it. The one that deserved to win it was Linda, the one that was deaf. Because most of the time she was pretty consistent.
Well, no, she got voted out. We thought it was the black lady.
Oh, the black lady. Yeah, right. She was really good, except she had trouble with patterns. She didn't
Yeah.
see, but she was really good at the freehanding of stuff and
Yeah, she
designing.
sold without a pattern. It was really
Yeah.
amazing.
She
So
should have
we're
won.
up to the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, another thing that I'm watching, it just came on Netflix, is Holston. Actually, it's pretty good. Um, he was a real bugger, but then he's a fashion designer. They're all buggers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's a good show. I really like it. What else have we been watching?
I haven't been watching it. You've been watching it.
No, I know. Well, you snooze, you lose. You should be watching it.
I'll watch it tonight.
Yeah, I'm up to. I think I've watched the first 4 episodes now. And we're still watching Mr. Mercedes. We finished the 2nd season. So now we have the 3rd season to get into that. We binge watch. Haven't seen watched any really decent movies though.
No, we haven't looked at it.
There really hasn't been any really decent movies
well,
on
there's
Netflix.
been some, but I haven't. We haven't looked at it.
Oh, well, okay, fine. There's been some. Contradict me every step of the way. Why don't you? Yeah, really. But one thing that I did join, there's a site called The Quilt Show, quiltshow.com. I think I mentioned it last week. Well, I've been watching their past episodes now that I'm a member, because that's the only way you can watch them is you have to, it's a paid site. It's like $49 a year American. So it works out to about $60 Canadian. But it's really, really good if you're into quilting like I am. I'm really quite enjoying it. So there's everything you ever want to know under the sun about it. And it's just like watching a regular television show, except no commercials with that. So that's pretty good. But like I said, you have to be a member. So did we cook anything fancy this week? No.
Did we? No,
No.
I don't think so. I reheated everything.
Yeah, we just reheat it. Yeah. What did we have last night? Oh, yeah, steak on the barbecue and a salad. Yeah, that was that. Okay. Alex and Ricky. Yep. Actually, Alex Anderson, my very first quilt was her design. That's how I got into quilting, actually.
Oh, that's who was that? That was that one, that Sandler. Okay.
Yeah, that Sandler. It was Alex Anderson. Yeah, that was it. Joe, I watched Snowpiercer after you guys mentioned it. Holy crap! Yeah, that was good. Snowpiercer, and of course we're watching The Handmaid's Tale, the latest season of that. But that one I can't download the entire season, so we have to wait until, and we don't get the channel it comes on.
The thing is that it's not up the whole season.
That's why I can't get it.
Yeah, well.
Okay, fine. It's good too. And of course we've been keeping up with Curiosity Inc. because he's just finishing up his series on the house he had to clean out within 4 days. And, well, that man knows how to make money. I can tell you that. That's for sure. What else we've been doing? Yeah, I think I'll save that one for next week. Talking about travel, industry, and everything like that. Now, the other thing, too, is, okay, so we've got a long weekend coming up next weekend. It's the Victoria holiday, Queen's birthday, even though her birthday doesn't fall. She's already had her birthday on that. And that is traditionally the long weekend when people open up their cottages and party. And let's see how many cases we have after this weekend coming up. I think that's one reason why Ontario government, and if this was the reason why they extended till June the 2nd to get past the long weekend, have the lockdown through this. But you know darn well right that come a few days later or a week later or so, our numbers are going to be up again because people are not going to obey it. So Jeannie says Alex taught the first quilting class I took. Oh, so you actually took a class with her, did you, Jeannie? Ricky Timms, I don't know about his stuff. His style is very interesting. He tends to lean towards modern quilting, but he does a lot of things very freehand. I was watching one of his Facebook lives, and he has a whole course coming up where he's going to show a lot of his techniques and stuff like that, but it's expensive. It's like $299 American dollars or something. for a 3-day online workshop, and well, that's about $1 million in Canadian. So I'm not going for that. I've been debating though. I've been thinking about looking around for some classes online that are Canadian and are reasonably priced, because I wouldn't mind taking a class, but I haven't found anything yet. Anita says, we're looking at new TVs today at Target just to see what's out there, and they have this TV with new technology, and oh my God, it's like you're right there, something with pixels.
We have an OLED TV, which actually it's really nice.
Yeah, the OLED's very nice. Cheryl says, I've been a member of the Quilt Show since they started. Love watching the shows. Yeah, I've known about them, but I've held off for quite a while spending the money. But, I'm glad that I have now, because it's really good. And Angel says, freehand modern is an exact description. Yeah, like with the way he cuts pieces out and then the sewing them, I don't think I could do that. Mine would be all over the place if I tried something like that. I need a little bit more structured design. Although, I'm working on my ex-Guild's mystery quilt, and I don't know if it's me or it's the pattern.
It's the misery quilt.
It's the misery quilt, but I'm making it work. But then I saw pictures of what some of the other people did with the next part, and that I was having problem getting the stuff to match up. They didn't seem to have any problem. So something went terribly wrong for me at one point in it, but I'll make it work. I said to Walter, the worst case scenario is if I get this thing done and I don't like it, I'm going to cut it up into strips and redo it.
OLED.
Yeah, like OLED, like in lead pipe.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Mustard in the conservatory with the lead pipe.
It's been out for a while, but they are pricey. We bought a 55-inch for $2,000. It was on sale. Its regular price was over $2,000.
When you look at the picture on the OLED as compared to our plasma screen, which is now old technology, there's more depth, I think, in the OLED.
Well, because it's completely black, the background. The plasma does too, but the other thing is the OLED that we have is a 4K, and the plasma we have is a HD TV.
Okay, well, that makes a difference. Mind you, you wouldn't notice really the difference unless they were side by side, and they're not side by side.
But actually, you notice the only problem with the OLED is if you're putting it in a really bright room, it may not be bright enough for you. That's the only thing. The OLED tends to not, though, we play it during the day too, and it's fine. But the room we have it in isn't super bright, so.
Cheryl says, Ricky calls his technique caveman quilting. Yeah, that's what he said on that Facebook Live that I saw about a week ago with it. He was showing how he makes his, what's he call his flower ones. He's got a name for them, a Chantel? Something like that. I don't know. But anyways, I'm learning kind of a lot of things from that, and I'd really like to try my hand at dyeing fabric. I'm just afraid it's kind of messy. And he says, in the new house, we need a 55-inch. We have to save up. 55-inch.
That's what we have upstairs.
Is that a 55?
Yeah.
How big's the plasma?
65.
Oh.
Actually, no, I'm sorry I didn't get the 65 OLED then, because it would still fit. So, we're all about our technology.
Yeah, we are.
Actually, the OLEDs are expensive, but the picture is really nice.
Yeah, Joan, but you want to know something? You can do a lot with the laptop and the iPad for the streaming on TV.
Well, actually, the OLED that we have is a smart TV, but we don't use it. We don't use the smart
features. But our television set also is hooked into our Apple TV box, and we can watch regular channels, the regular cable channels, which we just have basic bare minimum on those because we don't watch regular TV much anymore. But we can hook into those with the Apple TV.
So we use all the smart features of the Apple TV for that. So we don't use any of the smart features of the TV set itself.
No,
I mean, it's kind of a waste, but
kind of.
I mean, if I could have just bought a dumb panel, I would have bought a dumb panel. But that's what you get. You have to buy the smart features with it. So,
We really like the Apple TV though.
but
We have
it's the reason I bought the OLED is because we sit in a room where we don't have direct viewing. Where Steve sits, it's direct viewing, but I'm always at an angle when I'm watching the TV. And all the other TVs don't have as good a viewing angle. And the OLED has a really good viewing angle. So if you're sitting off to the side, you can see the picture fully clear. Whereas a lot of other TVs, when you're sitting off to the side, the picture dulls. And I'm kind of picky.
Yeah, not kind of. He is picky. But anyways, I think that's our time today, people. So everybody, thanks for joining us. I have put in the show notes the link to the latest So Chatty, which is called Thread Confusion. I do have a bottle of aspirin beside you if you happen to watch that, because we tried to demystify all the things about threads, and we discovered that nope, it's even more confusing than we thought it was. So there's that, and of course my latest edition of the Idiot Quilter is there as well. My vlog will be out tomorrow, the next edition of Idiot Quilter on Tuesday, and So Chatty episode 9
add this.
will be out on Friday as well, and I think we're doing all about irons on that edition. So now, what were you going to say before you tried to rudely interrupt me?
I have no TV, but I have a huge monitor. We use a 40-inch TV as a monitor.
Yeah, that's what right now we're looking at. That's monitor, but that's Walter's. Or no, that was what was
that
this
was
one?
the TV that the OLED replaced.
Oh, okay. But how big's the monitor you have?
I have a 40-inch.
Oh, yours is 40-inch too?
I have a 40-inch TV.
Oh, I thought it was so much bigger.
As a computer monitor.
Well, you know what they say, size matters. Anyways, on that note, everybody, I hope you have a good week, and we'll see you next week, if not sooner. So everybody take care. Bye-bye for now. Say goodbye, Walter.
Bye.